Hello, and welcome back to another EPC Teardown Guide. Today, we're taking a look at the Acer Nitro 5. This model is N22C2. It has a Ryzen 7 6800H processor and a 17-inch display. It's not too terribly difficult to take apart, although it does get a bit tedious at points. Today, we're going to show you how. Now let's get into it. To get this back cover off, a little more extensive than usual, there are 12 screws in here. I believe all Phillips, and I don't think they're captured. I also think I'm missing one right there, but we'll not worry too much about that. I don't think they're captured, but if they don't want to come out, they don't want to come out. Judging by the fact that there's little indents around these screws, I believe there was originally some kind of rubber covering on them, but when we received this model, it didn't have that covering anymore, so clearly it had been opened before we even got our hands on it. Just something to keep in mind for your own model. Alright, that's all minus the missing screw and the screw that is stuck. Well, it's stuck in case, it should be out. So let's see. To get this back cover off, I believe I start from the front. Under here, I think. Yep. Just right in that gap. Wedge it out. And then be careful about that backside, and there it goes. You can see something interesting about the back cover on this model is that where we have bays for the SSDs, rather than it being attached to the SD itself, it's set on the back cover. Pretty unique system. I've never seen that on any other model. We've already removed the SSDs from this model before opening it up, but there'd be one right here and one right here, held down by a single screw each. So we'll get started by taking the battery off. Nice wide space around this battery. Just pull it out here using these two wings on the side. Never pull on the cable, remember? And the screw itself is just these two screws at the corners. We have speaker connections on either side. Not held in by any screws, but interestingly enough, using what looks to be the same cable connector as you'll see on some Dell XPS model CMOS batteries. I wonder why. Underneath this little cage right here, if I remember correctly, is the RAM. Looks like there is a single silver screw holding it down, so let's pull that out. We should be able to just pop it off. Should be carrying a lot of weight. There we go. Looks like there's some adhesive in there. That's why it was stuck. And you can see the RAM right there. We can leave those in place. And let's pull this Wi-Fi, at least the Wi-Fi cables. They're just held on right here by the removable Wi-Fi chip. Remember to be very careful when pulling these antennas out. Always try and grab, if I can, right here for the metal part of the bracket and pull up. Trying to put as little torque on the connector as possible so I don't end up damaging it or the cables. There we go. Pull out that. And we'll just pull them to the side. Looks like they're connected here and here just by some adhesive and some foil tape in the case. We'll leave those there. I believe we can get this board out with the cooling and heat pipe still in place. So we'll do that if we can. Remember, anytime you remove these, you'll have to reapply whatever thermal paste you had. But we can get these fan connectors off. Place the screws holding the fans down. We've got this long screw right up here at the center. It's like it says M2.555. Not as long as I thought. We've got one small screw right over here, wire ribbon cable. And then another one just above it. Let's go ahead and get this display connector out. It's covering it, the black part is covering it, but it is a wing connector, so you can just use your nails and slowly pull it out, rocking back and forth. We have a little daughter board here on the right side that's got Ethernet, audio, and USB. We'll go ahead and disconnect those cables from the main board itself. We can leave those in place along with the board, with the daughter board that's connected to the case. We have 3 ribbon cables down here. And I believe there's one more display connector up here on the left. Oh, it's that right there. It's held on by a piece of tape in this instance, and then a wing connector. The wings in this one are very shallow. Let's use the tweezers for help. Pull that out. I believe that's everything needed to just pull the board itself out. Yes, it is. But there's nothing on the back side of this one. You can see, at least on the board itself, there is a specific spot for what I believe to be the GPU and a CPU, but it's simple enough to take this heat pipe fan setup off. You would just have to follow the diagram for the screws itself. It would come right off. Decided I'd leave that on there today. As for the case itself, you wanted to take, say, the lid off. It looks like there's one screw on either side. But I see a lot of sonic welded rivets on here, so I'm not entirely sure myself. Other than that, I believe it looks like from here the touchpad may be removable, but it's under the little cage here, so it's difficult to tell. In these performance models, there often isn't too much that's replaceable, but that'll be where we ended here. That was the Acer Nitro 5 model N22C2. Thank you for watching.
Don't feel like doing a teardown yourself? Have not just one, but hundreds of devices taking up space? EPC is a global leader in the ITAD field, and it's our goal to reduce e-waste and give devices a second chance. Reach out to us today to learn more.